Democratic Convention in Philadelphia. Sky News contributor Bruce Hawker's there, and Donald Trump obviously not even at the convention, but overshadowing it with some, well, his latest controversial remarks, Bruce.
Sort of like From Russia with Love with him. He's having a bit of a bromance with Vladimir Putin, I think. And today he basically said that he thought that that Hillary Clinton's email should have been hacked by the Russians, and because they would have revealed all sorts of interesting things. Now, this has caused quite a controversy here. I mean, on the one hand, people are saying, well, that's what happens when you try to muck around with emails and hide them from other people, as it's alleged she's done. And others are saying, well, this is a terrible incursion into American politics, domestic politics, being encouraged by Donald Trump. So this really is a fascinating period in American politics. For somebody who grew up in the days of the Cold War, to even have people talking about, in approving terms of the Russians hacking into Secretary of State's emails is just remarkable. But that's the world we live in at the moment, Kieran.
But what's the reaction going to be like? Because everything he's done that you think, oh, that will hurt him, or that, you know, that'll see the poll numbers fall away. He's lost his credibility on this front. There's no guarantee of the reaction or the condemnation of him for these remarks. And is there any sense as well that he was saying it a bit tongue-in-cheek? Is there any sense of that, or was he serious about it?
Well, I'm not. Well, I guess that's a convenient position to adopt, isn't it? Oh, look, I was really only joking about it, to those people who are critical of it, and to those who actually are interested in what he has to say and encouraging of it, it's a bit of a wink and a nod. So I think that's probably the position he's placed himself in there. You know, he has got some wriggle room as a result. I'm not sure that this is going to harm him all that much with the people who he's trying to continue to support him. Remember this, in the United States, it's not about appealing to the centre ground because they don't have compulsory voting. Over there, it's all about trying to keep your base alive and invigorated, and I think we're going to see more of this rather than less as we go on, and the reaction of a lot of his supporters is a very emotional one. It's not one that's driven by logic or by reason. It's by emotion, and that's really what he's trying to tap into all the time. So I'm not sure that he is going to suffer too much from it. I hope perhaps he will, but I don't think he will.
And when Barack Obama he's the headline act on day 3 of the convention, when he takes to that stage behind you, will he refer to it? Won't he? How important is this Obama address, given the first one was very successful on day 1, from Michelle Obama, that is?
Yeah, well, Michelle Obama is going to be a hard act to follow. I saw a survey that was done downstairs here, and she was by far the most popular of the speakers so far. Look, I think the president is going to go pretty hard on Trump. I don't think he's going to pull too many punches at all, and I think he's going to try to deflate his balloon. But he won't be the only one doing that tonight. Tim Kaine, the presumptive Vice President on the Democratic ticket, will be speaking. Joe Biden, the actual Vice President's going to be speaking. Michael Bloomberg, former Mayor of New York, is on the card, and Lenny Kravitz is amongst the entertainment. I mean, this is like the Olympic Games for politicians, or the Oscars night for all of us junkies. It's quite remarkable, Kieran, the way in which it's conducted, and the power of the performances and the people involved. Everyone's very impassioned, very articulate, and right into it.
Bruce Hawker, finally, I'm almost out of time, but quickly on Kevin Rudd for the UN. It'd be remiss of me if I didn't get your thoughts on it. The Cabinet to decide today. It doesn't look like he's going to get the nod.
Well, I think that'd be a terrible thing, frankly. I mean, this is an Australian, a prominent Australian, who should be supported by the Australian government in his endeavours, and as a representative, really, for Australia in the highest position in the United Nations. I don't think ugly partisan politics should come into this. This should be a moment when all Australians unify around a very credible candidate.
Bruce, we'll talk to you tomorrow from the convention there in Philadelphia. A quick break, back in just a moment with